it's Leah from Crafty Bananatee, and welcome to another episode of Polymer Puns, where I make silly puns out of polymer clay. And today, we're making a Little Debbie honey bun. Let's get started. One of my viewers asked me for a custom order to make a Little Debbie honey bun inspired by their bunny named Sunny, and I thought this is a perfect addition to the Polymer Pun series. And hopefully other people want honey buns too. So if you're interested, I now have my honey bun pun up in my shop. I've already made a Little Debbie Christmas tree Rex and a Little Debbie zebra cake, so naturally this is the perfect fit. Hashtag not sponsored. Now that our foil armature is covered, it's time to give our honey bun some acupuncture. This ensures that there's no air trapped between the clay and the foil. Nobody wants a gassy bun. Now that we've fixed our honey bun's tummy troubles, it's time to make the signature swirl. I started by outlining the swirl on the top and bottom with my silicone tool, and then defined it using my metal tool. I alternated between the two because I have no idea what I'm doing and I just couldn't get it as smooth as I wanted. And then I remembered, I have cornstarch! If you work with polymer clay, cornstarch is a great way to get rid of fingerprints and smooth out your piece. If you're working with colored clay though, it kinda leaves a cloudy white appearance after baking, at least in my experience. But who cares about that, because we're gonna paint it. But before that, we gotta turn this honey bun into, well, a bun. Even though bunnies don't have muzzles, it just seemed right to make one here. Don't question me, I sculpt based on vibes and not reality. After popping on the eyes, I stuck some wire in to make the antenna. Just kidding, it's just to give the ears more stability. Even though I broke the ears on 2 of them while I was painting them. Yeah, I originally had 4 for sale and pared it down to 2. But this was a fun one to make, so I'll probably make more. It's just hard because I never know what sells well, and I don't want to make an army of honey buns that no one wants. I already have 3 trinket shelves full of my puns, and I just bought 2 more. But let me know if you'd be interested in a tour. I actually started this series on TikTok, and I think I have about 70 puns I've already made. But look how cute 71 turned out. And now that the sculpting is finished, it's time to give him a bath with some rubbing alcohol. This will help remove fingerprints and make sure everything is smooth before baking. And with some editing magic, our honey bun is primed and ready to paint. I bought some actual honey buns so I can get a reference on the color. Unfortunately, I didn't have the shade I needed, so I had to mix my own color. I started by adding a little bit of blue to some orange and finished by randomly throwing in unknown amounts of red and yellow until I somehow lucked into the right color. Mixing my own colors always makes me feel like I'm in one of those old Mario games when you're running out of time on the level and the music gets intense and it physically makes you anxious. I have to make sure the color I mix doesn't dry out because just like all the Shrek sequels, there's no way the new one will ever be as good as the original. Actually, that's not true. Shrek 2 was pretty good. And because I'm no master at color matching, if I got a smudge on my piece and the original color dried out, I'd have to make another batch and paint the whole thing all over again. And then the cycle just repeats. But that's not gonna happen to me, right? Well, shit. After having to mix a new color to paint the whole body all over again, it was time to make the frosting. But not before I add little dots to the eyes. I used some Bright Tone, which is a glossy polyurethane varnish, and mixed it with a few drops of white paint. It did not go very well. I stirred too hard. It's everywhere. Oh my god, I did it again! Why am I doing this? Alright, I'm done mixing. I created some faux honey buns, sans buns, to test my frosting. I actually had to do this 3 times before I found the perfect ratio of white paint to varnish. Now it's time to coat our bun in the somewhat suspicious cloudy white liquid. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more fun pun content. Now that he's perfectly frosted, it's time to take this honey bun out for some fun in the sun. That's a lot of rhyming.